Hi, it looks like we're live. And if you don't know me, my name is Mercedes, and I am a certified human resources professional, but I'm also the founder of Human Resources for or HR for millennials. And of course, my mission is to help millennials. Excuse me, I'm outside, so sorry about the noise. But basically, I really just want to help other millennials get ahead in their career, use some of the same tips that I've learned along the way to help them really build a career that they will love, a career that they're happy with, and making sure they're able to overcome the hurdles in their careers with tips from a person who knows what they're talking about, a person who does human resources on a daily basis. And I do want to say that I, of course, come up with a couple of things, more than a couple, tips that I share with you guys each time. But I do, of course, want this to be a moment where you all are able to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about and kind of ask me the questions that you guys are going to find value out of. So that being said, while I'm talking, please post your questions, and then once I'm done with kind of sharing what I have to share with you guys today, I will definitely be addressing those questions, and of course even giving you guys resources that kind of go with that, to make sure that you guys are really getting to where you need to be. So that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and, talk about what I had to talk about. So a lot of you guys have been asking me about networking from my previous survey to kind of family and friends, and I know that that's something that you guys really feel like you need help with. And so basically from that, what I did is I created a networking blueprint for you guys that I basically put everything that I know into this blueprint so that you guys can have a complete roadmap to figure out how to get to where you need to in your career using networking. It's a really strong tool, and I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, but I did want to just start out by saying I do have something really exciting to tell you guys at the end of this video, so I hope that you hang out. Or if you're watching this later, you zoom to the end because you don't want to listen to me. I understand, but I do think what I have to say is valuable, so we'll go ahead and get started. So back to my networking blueprint. I know that there are so many things, there's so many aspects of networking that sometimes it can feel really, really overwhelming, and I totally understand that. I totally get it. And so I did want to take some of the bigger ideas from that networking blueprint and really address them in the group for you guys, so that you kind of have something to go along with that, and it's not just a whole bunch of words on the paper, it's somebody explaining what it means to you guys. So what I did is I created a 5 networking mistakes blueprint blog series. So a couple of the mistakes that I addressed in that blueprint, I'm going to address in a series of blog posts for you guys to read and review, but I also want to talk about them here. So it's kind of, again, somebody who's explaining this, what this means. It's not just a bunch of words for you guys to go through. So my number one mistake that I think people who are networking do is that they don't have a pitch. They don't have a pitch, a sales pitch. I know it sounds crazy that you need a sales pitch for yourself for networking with other people, but people basically, they go into networking and they go in without a game plan, without any introduction for themselves, without a way to connect with other people. And so basically this blog post is a no pitch millennial, okay? If you go into networking and you don't know what you're going to say and you don't know how to introduce yourself and you don't know how to approach other people, then you are probably the no pitch millennial. And so basically, why should you have a pitch, right? Because why people don't like sales pitches, right? Or at least that's what we think. But the fact of the matter is, people need a reason to connect with you. They need a reason to feel like you're somebody that they should be talking to or find value in. And so that is the basis of this. It's building a relationship based upon mutual benefits. And so I think that's it sounds like a really crass way of discussing that and talking about it, of course, but basically a network is that. You're using your network to leverage certain things to get to where you need to get into your career. So using these people, yes. And the crazy thing about that is, even though you're leveraging people, and it kind of sounds so terrible to say that, if you're doing networking right, you're really building connection with this person. You're really building a lasting relationship with this person that you're both going to help each other in the long run. And so that's why it's important. Because if you can't build a meaningful connection with that person easily, you're going to miss out. And so why? So you need a pitch because you have to sell yourself to this person. You have to convince this person that you're interesting enough or cool enough or professional enough or skilled enough or whatever it might be for their time. And if they're a recruiter like me, or if they're a hiring manager or a high-level professional, there's a lot of people who want their time. So you really need to make sure that you're telling them why you're important for their time, why you are the person that they need to talk to. And so that's why it's important to do a sales pitch, because a sales pitch for yourself is a lot more engaging than just saying, hi, how's the weather today? It's not something that's interesting. They've heard it a million times, but if you're talking from yourself and you're talking from a place of passion and enthusiasm, and again, being an engaging person, you're going to get their attention, and you're probably going to get one step closer to being where you need to be. And saying that, and selling yourself, you also need to establish value. You need to establish why you're a valuable person, again, why they should engage with you, why building a relationship with you is a beneficial thing. So those are all my whys. Why you need a pitch, okay? And so now I'm going to teach you how to do a pitch. So a pitch, does not have to sound like a sales pitch. I know I'm saying a pitch, but really what it is an elevator speech. And I know a lot of us who are professionals have heard what an elevator speech is, or maybe have just heard about it even if you don't know it in detail. And so what it is for me, my elevator speech, or my elevator pitch, whatever you want to call it, I call it elevator speech actually, is 4 steps. So the first thing is that you want to have an intro. You want to tell them about yourself, your background, a little bit about your experience, just a small bit, like, hi, my name is Mercedes, and I'm located in Gainesville, Florida, and what I currently do is I'm a certified human resources professional. So that's a very short thing. Don't go into too much detail. And then you start off with your passion, because that's the hook. You're speaking from a place of, what you're passionate about, what your mission is, what you love doing. Those are the things that people want to connect with, because it's not so surface. It's something that connects with who you are as a person, and that's how the person's going to connect with you. And then you also want to say why you're awesome. So this is what I love, and this is why I do it. This is what I do in my daily life that shows, this is what I was made to do, kind of thing. And then you want to connect what you love to do or what you do so well to the target that you're talking to. So if it's me, if I'm maybe looking for a new job, I can say I love, I love developing people. I heard that you had a organizational development function in your company, that you might be looking to implement new programs or new policies, procedures, that kind of thing. So just connect your passion to why you're awesome, and also connect that to why that person wants to talk to you. So kind of build that for them, build a case for yourself of why they want to continue talking to you, why they might want to give you an opportunity, why they might want to set up an interview, why they might want to go to lunch with you, whatever it might be, or even be a mentor, get an internship, all of those things. You have to sell it to them so that they want to help you achieve those goals. And so now comes on to that. So you know why to do it, how to do it, and now there's also the delivery piece, right? Because you could create this great essay of why you're awesome, why they want you, but it's off-putting because it sounds rehearsed. And of course, you do need to rehearse it. You do need to make sure that you know what you're talking about, that you don't stumble on it, and that you don't really know where you're going next. But you do need to also make sure that it's a conversational thing. Like, you don't want to read it off like a robot because you rehearsed it so many times. You want to make sure that it's conversational. You want to make sure that you're building the connection, that you're making a human interaction with this person and not just talking at them, because that's also not engaging. Nobody wants you to just be talking towards them and them not really having anything to do with it. You're just like, here, learn about me, learn all of these things. And that's not something that anybody really wants to do, in all honesty. And so that's why you also have to read the cues and customize your elevator speech. So you can't rehearse it so much that there's, you know, nothing else other than what you previously talked about or what you previously thought, because that person could tell you something about themselves that's a great way to connect with them, a great way to get to that next opportunity. And just because you were reading off a script, you didn't address that, and then you missed that chance to connect, especially if, you know, you can pivot in a way that makes it seem, or maybe it's true, not even just seems, you can pivot in a way that sounds appealing to that person. For where they are, the cues that they've given you, or something else, or maybe some other connection. Maybe they like fishing and you also like fishing, and you guys can talk about fishing, and they are now a connection just because you both like fishing. And it sounds kind of like crazy because maybe you're professionally networking, but if you can create a connection over almost anything, that person can help you in your professional career. It doesn't have to really be about fishing or your elevator speech, for that matter. So I say all of this to say there's actually, you know, at the end of my blog, I release a big secret. And the real secret is that, do you really need an elevator speech to network? Of course you don't need an elevator speech for networking. There's a lot of people that don't like that kind of thing. They're, you know, natural conversationalists, and they can just go, you know, they can pivot very quickly and talk about what makes them passionate with almost anybody. I'm not one of those people, so I really do need that structure. But that being said, if the elevator speech doesn't sound like something that is good for you, you really don't have to create an elevator speech. You can really create something else, and it doesn't have to be in this format, but you want to make sure that you are addressing these few things. So it's just 4 major things that you have to address when you're networking, and that's your goals, not necessarily in this order, your passion and your mission, and your value for that person. So if you can do that in another way that's just as great, just as engaging, and just as genuine too, do it that way, because if the person knows your goals, they know what you want, but they also see the value in that, maybe not for themselves, but maybe even somebody else that they might know, another connection, they will take the time to talk to you because they'll see all of those things, and it'll build a genuine relationship, a genuine connection. So that's everything that I've really addressed in my blog. And so there are 4 more coming. I was like, I can't count right now. But yeah, there's 4 more coming where I'm going to continue addressing these things in the blueprint. And like I said, it's really just for you guys to be able to get some further information other than kind of all the words in that blueprint, because there's so many ways, so many things that you can do to network. You know, there's so many platforms, so many locations, so many places. You know, you can network at work, you can go to a career fair, you could network at Starbucks. Again, there's so many things, but if you don't kind of have some guidance at where to start first, I can definitely understand how it's, you know, really overwhelming to kind of figure out what you want to do next. So what I want to say is that I hope that you take this, you read my blog post, you apply it to your life, and then you kind of keep hitting the next steps of what to do next and where to go and who to talk to, because that's really what you guys need. You just need to get started. You just need to create a plan of where you guys want to go and do that. And you're going to do great because you're going to keep practicing, you're going to keep learning, and you're going to keep growing in that way. So I did just want to say that personally, when I was in my master's program, I was very fortunate to have a really, really wonderful career counselor, and she's told me a lot of these things, and of course I tweaked it and I made it my own, but she was the one who told me that, you know, you need an elevator speech, you need to, you know, quickly get in there, quickly engage the person, to want to continue talking to you, to want to find out more about you as a person and how you can connect with them. And so I do just want to say that she gave me this outline, but, and it's not just some outline that, you know, somebody's telling you that that's how it has to be and that's how you need to do it. I've used this framework for myself. So I went to, it was my first career fair. I was first year in my graduate program, and she's like, you know, I walk in and she says, yeah, just, you know, you got your elevator speech, you want to run it through with me? And I'm like, yeah, thank you. I really need to do that because I'm so nervous. And so I run it through her, and that builds instant confidence, because even though I've, you know, I've practiced it and I've learned it and I know it back and forth, it's still nerve-wracking, right? And so I practice it with her, and she's like, yeah, that's great. And so practice it with somebody. And then she said, go, well, what companies are you going to see? No, this company, that company, that company. Okay, which company did you not want to see? Well, that one. Go to them first. I was like, what? Yeah, she's like, practice, get some confidence, talk to somebody. And so obviously how I connected with that company, it wasn't really a great connection. And that didn't mean that my elevator speech wasn't good. And that didn't mean that I wasn't doing something right. It just meant that I was right in thinking that wasn't my company. That wasn't the place that I wanted to be. That wasn't where I wanted to practice HR. It wasn't it. And so I went to a couple other companies, spoke to Target, P&G, KPMG, all these, you know, huge companies, and I actually landed about 5 interviews that day. And some of them were on site and some of them were phone interviews or whatever it was. And then I actually, just because I did have a really engaging elevator speech, I ended up talking to one of the lead recruiters for PMG for probably upwards of 20 minutes at a career fair where there's, you know, hundreds of other kids there that are also waiting to talk. So what I want to say is that you might not have the perfect elevator speech, right? But it's going to connect with the right person. So if you're worried that your elevator speech isn't perfect, and that you are afraid because, you know, not having a perfect elevator speech is not going to get you in the right company, what I do want to say is that it might not get you into every company, but it'll get you into the company that you need to be at. It'll get you to a place that get you to connect with the right person to get to where you need to be in the next stage of your career, whether that's at your current position, another company, or maybe it's just, you know, something where you need a mentor, even if it's not a new position or something like that. I just want to tell you guys that honestly this has worked for me, and just trust the process, create it, try it, and see where you go. I really think you'll do great. And so that being said, I told you at the beginning I had a very, very exciting thing to share for me. I don't know how, you know, new all of you guys are, if you know me personally. Some of you do, some of you don't. But this is my first course. So I've been practicing HR for about three and a half years. And of course schooling and all the other stuff too before that. And I decided that I really wanted to, I just saw so many of my friends, so many people around me not making good career decisions, not making the best steps to get a job or get an interview or network for that matter. And I really wanted to help people. I really wanted to help people learn what I knew, because I knew things that, you know, they came natural to me, but not everybody knows these things. And so I really wanted to start sharing that with you guys. So that's why I created the blueprint. That's why I asked you guys what you're going to benefit from. And so the culmination of that is I'm going to be releasing a course on Monday. So it's going to be my first course, and I'm really excited. And of course, with all that we've been talking about today, this course is going to be about networking. And so I'm going to go over everything in my blueprint for you guys, to explain how to apply this, what it really means, how to make it work for you, and all that stuff that goes in between that. And like I said, it's work for me. I've got jobs, I've got interviews based upon this networking blueprint framework. So I do want to let you know that on Monday, just be expecting an announcement from me. I'm going to be selling my course for $47. And really, I do think that this course is probably like a $200 value, but I do know it's my first course. And so I really want to get as much people to get involved and join the course as possible. So that's why I'm doing it at that really low price point. So thank you so much for kind of being here at the beginning of the process with me. I do hope that you join my course and that you find value. And even if you don't, I hope that you found value out of this live. I think everybody deserves to get a job that they want. I think everybody deserves to be happy in their careers. And so if I can give you guys one thing that's going to help you get a little bit closer, I'm really happy about that. So that being said, I really hope that you guys join me for my next live, that you guys to continue to get support and knowledge from me, and use it to really crush your goals and achieve all of those things that you guys definitely deserve. And so I'm gonna wait a little bit just to see if anybody has pops on for some questions that they might have about blueprinting, about the blueprint, about networking, or about anything else, resumes, career, jobs, everything, please, please ask. If you do have those. But my last announcement before I start looking at some of those questions is that if I think that maybe Saturday isn't the best time to really be having these. I think pretty much on Saturday people are spending time with family, which is what I was doing today at 2 p.m., which is why I had to change it. So I'm actually going to change the time to Tuesdays at 7 p.m. I think it's going to give people some time because it's early in the weeks, and it's not Monday because Monday's always crazy, and Tuesdays is kind of like the next the next day where kind of everything's calming down, and it's late enough in the afternoon that people can get home, get to work, and kind of settle in and get on for the live. So I'm changing it to Tuesdays, every other Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So hopefully more people are able to join me. And I'm going to wait a few more minutes to see if anybody sends any comments, or there's any questions or anything like that. But I do really appreciate you guys' time, and I do really want to hear, of course, you know, if you have any questions afterwards during the week, or if you have anything to say, maybe you started using some of the things that you learned in the blueprint. I want to hear about those because I want to know how it's working for you guys, or if you need more information or whatever that is. I definitely just want to be a resource to you guys as well. And it's, let's see, 5:21, so I have about 8 more minutes, but I might get off a little bit early if I don't get any comments yet. So I'm just going to keep talking. Yay! All right, so I don't see any comments, but I do really, really, really appreciate you guys taking time to listen to me. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. I really also hope that you guys are able to kind of consider my course and see if that's something that's going to help you get to the next stage in your career. And that being said, I hope you have a very, very wonderful evening, and I really appreciate you guys. Bye.